Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know, there's different rules in different places, and these rules and standards should be respected. You know, you don't want to be like Brittany Griner, going through Russian customs with a significant amount of illegal substances. Because in Russia, they don't play no games with that stuff. You're gonna get yourself in quite the situation, let's just say that. Well, here's where I'm getting at. You could get away with pretty much whatever you want living in California and Portland, Oregon. Want to rob a store? Go right on ahead. Want to do intravenous drugs on the street open in front of children? Go right ahead. Want to assault random pedestrians? It seems as though the politicians, the prosecutors, and police departments give you the green light. They're telling you to go right ahead. Well, in Texas, that's in California and other similar locations. In Texas, they don't play those same games. In Texas, you F around, you're probably going to find out. You could be a petty criminal, seeing videos of people in California, New York, and Oregon doing what they want, victimizing the public at will, without any consequences. And you might be thinking to yourself, well, if they can do it, I can certainly do it. Well, maybe if you lived in California, but in Texas, not so much. I got something to show you guys, and more specifically, we got something to talk about here, and there's one specific aspect that I really want to focus on for this video. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright folks, I'm not sure if you guys have seen this story yet, but there's a viral video bouncing all over the internet right now. Unfortunately, welcome to YouTube, I actually cannot show you guys the video, but I'm sure you could find it yourself if you simply go on Twitter and type robbery, taqueria, and Houston, or if you enter this text verbatim in the search bar. This is what happens when you try to rob a taqueria in Houston. You'll find the video, and of course viewer discretion is advised, but essentially you have a masked robber who walks into the taqueria armed, robbing patrons one by one as he walks from table to table, waving around a weapon, until of course he is met by this individual in the grayish blue shirt on the left. This man ends up being the hero, and let's just say he terminates the threat without hesitation, and to the extent where he essentially drops the entire mag into the individual. Even continuing as the criminal, the assailant, the threat is seemingly neutralized. He essentially put the whole thing in him. And here's where the controversy starts, and here is the conversation that I want to have. I am seeing so many tweets, so many Twitter experts calling for the man in the grayish blue shirt to be arrested and charged. We're now learning from ABC News that the customer who shot the robber at the Houston taqueria is wanted for questioning. And we're seeing all these galaxy brains all over Twitter like Will Chamberlain. This guy's an interesting fellow to say the least, claiming that this incident was not lawful self-defense. And there's so many copium tweets. I'm sorry, but this is not something to be proud of. No good guy with a gun should be shooting someone from behind and unloading unless there was a true threat against someone's life. It's a situation where it could have ended well, but the guy with the gun was way too eager. Excuse me, there was no true threat to anybody's life? You have a masked assailant committing an armed robbery, waving a firearm in people's faces. I mean, this is unbelievable. Now, we're learning now that allegedly the assailant's weapon was apparently an airsoft weapon, if I'm not mistaken, but if you ask me, that doesn't change anything. It's so many people are outraged over this incident. A lot of armchair quarterback lawyers. He should have done this, he should have done that. His actions were fine for the first X amount of shots, but the last 3, the last 2, the last 1, those were illegal. All of it I find just so stupid. Here's another argument that I keep seeing. He's going to take an L here, unfortunately. He would have a rough time saying his life was in immediate danger when the guy was already leaving. Then the extra shot when there was no longer a threat. People keep saying that the customer acted after the criminal was leaving, just because he was walking towards the door. He was walking towards the door pointing his weapon, but it makes no sense because if you pay attention, he was walking towards the door, but really he was walking towards the customer in the back left corner, aiming a weapon at him. Not only was his life in immediate danger, but that other individual's life was in immediate danger. And then the whole issue of the threat was supposedly already neutralized. How do you know? How do you know when enough is enough? Deadly force is deadly force, and it was clearly justified here. And also, deadly force means terminate the threat. I'm seeing so many people with these kinds of takes, they're all getting ratioed, thank the Lord, but it's crazy to me that this is even a popular reaction. I'm not going to hold back in this discussion. I am so tired of the excessive sympathy granted to criminals. We're going to pretend as if the hero in this situation is the bad guy. No, that's not the way that this works. And the hero in this case is pumped with adrenaline. He's just doing the right thing in the moment in an incredibly tense environment and situation, and the expectation from armchair quarterback lawyers here that he should have been able to perfectly analyze the situation and when the threat was terminated, and to stop at the perfect moment, is ridiculous. It's unrealistic. Now, obviously, we're in Texas. The hero here, I don't think is going to be charged, and even if he is charged, I don't think a jury of his peers in the great state of Texas would ever find him guilty. So he's obviously going to be fine. But I just find it crazy that people are actually calling for this guy to be charged with murder. The most common claims that I'm seeing is that he fired at the assailant from behind. Yeah, after the assailant pointed a firearm at his head and then proceeded to point his firearm at the casual patron in the back left of the camera shot. If that's not justified, then I don't know what is. Oh, but the assailant wasn't actually using a real weapon, it was an airsoft weapon. How the hell are you supposed to know that in the moment? They look identical. For me, it's very simple. You F around, you find out. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. If you walk into a store looking like friggin' Antifa, brandishing a weapon, and pointing it at people's heads as you walk around taking their money, automatically, for me, everything gets thrown out the window. Whatever happens to you after that in terms of consequences, it's totally justified. And the idea that this law-abiding citizen did anything wrong just doesn't sit well with me. There was a clear threat. There was one threat, one criminal, and he terminated that threat with precision and with confidence. And whether it was excessive or not is irrelevant. The threat was terminated. If you're going to walk into a public place or a private business and commit this kind of heinous crime, very simply, in my opinion, it's done for you. I will never have sympathy for criminals. I'm done with it. I am absolutely friggin' done with it. And all the wannabe legal experts on Twitter, well, actually, if you pause on frame 1045, you can see at this precise moment, the individual was no longer a threat, and the airsoft Glock exited his hand, therefore, and blah, blah. No, take a friggin' hike. The guy is a hero. Simple. He shouldn't be charged. He shouldn't be arrested with anything. He should be given an award, because it's people like this who are protecting innocent civilians from these lawless gangsters who are running around terrorizing communities. Now, the only thing that this heroic customer did wrong, I'll tell you, it's leaving the scene afterwards. The exact way this event transpired, he terminated the threat, took the assailant's weapon away from him, placed it on a table, took all of the money that the assailant took from patrons, and gave the money back to all of those individuals, and then here's where I think he messed up. He went home. He should have called the police, and he should have stayed there, answered their questions, and given a statement. Was that wrong? Probably. But again, when you have that kind of adrenaline rushing through your veins, I mean, it's even possible that this individual has a criminal record and maybe wasn't supposed to be carrying a firearm. We don't know what's happening. We don't know why he made that decision. But at the end of the day, again, regardless of any of that, I don't think a Texas jury is going to find him unanimously guilty. I think none of those factors matter. He did the right thing. He protected the community from an out-of-control thug. And for me, it ends right there. You don't play these games in Texas. You don't get to wave a firearm at innocent casual individuals eating dinner and just get away with it. Period. That's my view, and that is something that will never change. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna get out of here, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.